Yo, what is up everybody? Starry Ray here, and the NBA Finals have just finished and the Golden State Warriors are once again NBA champions, and Steph Curry is finally Finals MVP. Let's give it up for the Warriors, man. What a crazy season. But before we jump into the Warriors season, I want y'all to drop a like, check the description for all my links, and make sure you leave a comment about this finals, what you thought about it. So like I was saying, the Warriors are once again NBA champions. And this one meant a lot for them. You can see it on their face. Immediately in the fourth quarter with like 1 minute left. With 1 minute, the game was already over. But Steph Curry was still on the court and you could see tears crying. He was crying, man. The tears were rolling down his face. But he didn't let it all out until the final clock was over. But he was emotional, and this one meant a lot to them. You got to think about what they came through. 2 years of just awful, just down bad moments for them. And during those 2 down bad years, the Warriors were counted out. Coming into this year, the Warriors are counted out, and I'm a part of that. I counted them out 100%. I was a believer of the Phoenix Suns. I really believed that Devin Booker and Chris Paul were going to sync up this year and finally get it. I thought they were, they had the experience last year, and then this year they were going to put it all together and make the finals run and actually do it this year and complete it. But they couldn't do it. They were the wrong team. I didn't see that coming at all. Devin Booker and the Suns started off so good, and I thought that was just going to go... I thought that was going to translate into the playoffs, and I was wrong. Now, don't get me wrong. I was still a fan of the Warriors during this season. Whenever I watched a few of their games on TV, I loved their offense. I loved the free-flowing offense that they had. They were always passing the ball and always getting the greatest looks that they can get. And I really loved their offense. Coming from a Lakers fan where the ball was not moving at all, seeing the Warriors play basketball was just a breath of fresh air and amazing to see. So I really like the Warriors this season, but I just didn't see them making it to the finals and even winning the finals. So like I said, this is a very special year for the Warriors, and for them to win it again and for Steph Curry to get a finals MVP finally, this one means a lot to them, and they did it convincingly. They won this series convincingly. I would like to believe that I thought the Celtics were the better team and that the Celtics 100% had a chance. I thought they were pretty evenly matched, and I thought that the Celtics actually had a chance to win this. But when it came down to it, the Celtics just deflated, and they didn't really live up to their hype, I guess you can say. They did not live up to what they were supposed to do and what they were doing in the season and what they were doing in the playoffs. They just kind of fell apart in the playoffs, and I think that's kind of just they're going against the Warriors with some of the best shooters around, and I think they really got demoralized, and they never gave up, but I think they like mentally knew that they were kind of out of it, but they kept on fighting, And in game 6, the Celtics shot himself in the foot, coming out with an extremely slow start, 21-0 in the first quarter. That shot him in the foot completely. They had a couple runs throughout the game, but you do not want to give the Warriors such a lead, and because they will keep it. I mean, it's happened that they have given it up, but this is game 6 on the line for the championship. You just don't want to do that, You don't want to do that. You don't want to bank on them giving up the lead again. So yeah, it was the Celtics messed up 100% by doing that. And I think then, even if they did make a comeback, they tried to fight. It was just never going to be enough for the Celtics. Steph Curry was in his bag tonight, man. And the Celtics are shameless. In the fourth quarter, they're switching Al Horford onto Steph Curry. Why? Why were they doing that? That's just messed up, They're giving up the game right there. You're trying to tell me that Al Horford can guard Andrew Wiggins? You're telling me that? I don't believe it, man. I don't know what that was all about. And Jayson Tatum should have been on Steph Curry in those final moments when the game was still kind of close. You know, the Celtics did have a chance. You know, like I said, they kind of kept it close. It was around 10 points. If they got those Steph Curry stops, it could have turned into something, but they switched Al Horford onto him, and Steph Curry just went around Al Horford and got a layup. I think it happened twice in the fourth quarter, and it was just like, oh yeah, it's over. They just keep on switching, and it's just kind of, I don't know what that was all about. And Jayson Tatum had very, very, very much had an underwhelming final series. He was very underwhelming for me. The reason why I picked the Celtics was because I thought Jayson Tatum was going to have an amazing series, and I thought he was going to live up to the moment. And I thought him and Jaylen Brown were going to be able to go back and forth between just being duos and scoring the ball, but it was never really like that. It was lopsided. It was either Jaylen Brown or Jayson Tatum. Some nights, I guess you can say, not really. Jayson Tatum really didn't have a good series, but he did have moments, so I'll give him that. But yeah, the Celtics and Jayson Tatum just kind of didn't live up to the hype at all. Grant Williams, who is amazing in the rest of the playoffs, was missing. He did not show up at all. Robert Williams was good. Robert Williams was one of the better Celtics to play, but he's not a ball dominant center or anything like that. He doesn't control the pace of the game, so he just gets in where he could get in. Rebounding and putting putback dunks and stuff like that. He did have he had crazy blocks. Give him that. He's playing with a bum knee, so give him that for playing with a bum knee and having crazy blocks and still getting rebounds and all that. So shout out to Robert Williams for that. But besides Robert Williams, there was no one really that good besides Jaylen Brown. Some games Jaylen Brown had an amazing, I think it was game 3, game 4, Jaylen Brown was cooking. And Jayson Tatum had moments. He was shooting threes here or there. He was awful in the mid-range. I don't get that at all. Jayson Tatum was also awful shooting free throws. That's just not acceptable in the finals, Another player that we need to talk about that was good during the playoffs was Derrick White. And Derrick White just kind of disappeared in the finals. He was not there. And, he is a very, 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 very much a role player. He's very much a role player. But still, he was pretty good in the finals, and they made that trade to get him to be good in the playoffs, and he just didn't live up to it. And I don't know how much you can blame him for that, but they needed him. So yeah, the Celtics had a very underwhelming finals. They had an amazing, a legendary playoff run, but in the finals they just didn't live up to that. If they were able to knock off the Warriors, that we would have a crazy conversation going on, but they weren't able to do that. The Warriors, the Warriors stuck it out. The Warriors, they lived up to their playoff and, their NBA Finals experience. They lived up to that. Steph Curry had an amazing finals appearance, finals run versus the Celtics. He had an amazing finals run. And, he put the team on the back really when no one else was really doing much. Klay Thompson to me wasn't Klay Thompson. I expect a lot more for Klay Thompson. He got in where he could get in. He had he had a decent finals run, but I expected more out of Klay Thompson, I guess you can say. I guess I expected old Klay. So maybe I should switch my standards, because he's coming off the injury and everything. He hasn't played in forever. But yeah, I was really expecting Klay to have a more impactful finals, but it just didn't happen. But, he did contribute. When he hit crucial threes, I'll give it to him that Klay hit threes that kind of took the air out of the stadium, Another player that we need to talk about is Jordan Poole, who had a good finals. Jordan Poole is proving to be one of maybe the fifth Warrior. When you think about the Warriors, he's the fifth, maybe six. There's Kevon Looney. I'll put Jordan Poole fifth. Jordan Poole fifth, He's up there though. We got the top 5 Warriors, right now. I guess in skill, we got Steph, and then Klay, and then Draymond, who had a good game 6, good game 6. But we'll get to them later though. And then we have Andrew Wiggins. We'll get to him later. And then we have Jordan Poole at number 5. And Jordan Poole, he really stuck out this whole season. Jordan Poole was really, really good. And Jordan Poole was sometimes the best Warrior player some nights. He really was. Jordan Poole wasn't great this finals run, but he he did what he had to do, and he lived up to moments where they needed him. He hit good shots. I don't think he really took that many bad shots. There were some that were kind of iffy, but I think Jordan Poole, he's a shooter. Jordan Poole is going to shoot, and he's going to be aggressive. If Jordan Poole is not doing that, then he's not doing his job, and why is he on the court? So I really like Jordan Poole with him. He was aggressive, and he hit timely threes, and he did his job. I really liked him on the offense for the Warriors. The next Warrior I want to talk about is Draymond Green. Draymond Green, man. What a finals. What a finals for Draymond Green. From being clowns on the internet to the last 2 games really stepping up and showing why he deserves to be the third Warrior. He shows why he's the third Warrior. The last 2 games were really good. Draymond Green had his hand in game 6 for sure. Draymond Green, I don't say controlled the game, but he was there. He made himself be felt, and that couldn't be said in the first 3 games. That wasn't really the case, or maybe 4 games, I don't remember. But Draymond Green wasn't there, a lot, and he was kind of taken out of the game, and Coach Kerr even benched him, for the fourth quarter. So yeah, Draymond Green didn't have a great finals run, but the last 2 games when it mattered, he did it. And I think that, that's kind of all that matters. That's all that the Warriors, I think, the Warriors wouldn't change anything that happened, So yeah, shout out to Draymond Green from being like the talk of the town, talk of Twitter, being made fun of, being looked at as the problem for Golden State, to actually contributing and playing good basketball for them in the 2 games that really mattered for them. The last Warrior I want to talk about is Andrew Wiggins, man. Andrew Wiggins had such a crazy season with the Warriors this year, man. He was an all-star this year, and people just kind of laughed at him. People just kind of, shitted all over him for being an all-star. They thought like he didn't fit in at all. And now look at him. Now look at him. He contributed humongously in the finals with the Warriors, and he had a good playoff series as well. But in the finals, when it really mattered, he was the number 2. I would argue that he was the number 2 on some of the nights when it was just Steph and him really cooking out there, And Andrew Wiggins played amazing in the finals, and he deserves his flowers 100% from being called a bust to being, potentially MVP. It's crazy. It's very, very crazy to talk about. But yeah, he was amazing in this finals, and I really liked him. I really liked seeing what he did, and seeing him just contribute and actually playing good basketball, being a very beneficial piece to the Warriors. It's really awesome to see. The Warriors had an amazing playoffs run. They go through the Nuggets. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about me, because I had the Warriors losing everything. Basically, I'm a Jokic fan, so I wanted Denver to win, but Denver had no help, so there was no way that Jokic was gonna win that. After that, it was the Grizzlies. I wanted the Grizzlies to win, but just because I like Ja. I really like Ja, and I thought, it'd be fun to see someone new in the playoffs, But I didn't really think that they were gonna win. But like personally, I wanted the Grizzlies to win. I think I officially made the Warriors win in that pretty easily, because the Grizzlies had an awful series against the Timberwolves, and then they had the Mavericks. And the Mavericks, I really thought the Mavericks had a chance to go toe-to-toe with the Warriors, but it wasn't really like that at all. The Warriors took care of business against the Mavericks, so there isn't really much, there isn't really no hope for the Mavericks during that. So yeah, during the whole Warriors playoff run, I was really rooting against them, or I picked them personally against them a lot. I think like official picks, I knew that they were gonna win most of the games that they most of the matchups they had. I knew that they were gonna win, but personally, I was rooting against them because I like the other teams more. So I gotta give the Warriors their flowers. I personally was not a fan of them. I guess I was rooting against them a lot, so I gotta give them their flowers. And give them their props for proving me wrong. I really like them this playoff series. They were a lot of fun to watch. and they took care of business when they needed to take care of business. And yes, shout out to Steph Curry for cooking, man. Steph Curry, Finals MVP finally, and the Warriors finally get out of the KD, the KD era. That was always something that was always going to be talked about unless they won again, and they did it. And Steph Curry got Finals MVP doing it as well without KD. So shout out to the Warriors, man. What a fun, I gotta give it to the Warriors and the Celtics for both of them for giving us a good finals series. It was a really fun finals series. It wasn't, the last two games were very Warrior favorited, but it was fun. It was very, very fun. And I think it was the playoffs were not the rest of the playoffs were not the best. A lot of blowouts, and a lot of, that's why I didn't even cover some of the games and some of the series, because they were just blowouts. But when it came down to the finals, we got some really good basketball and some really fun moments. And yeah, it was a lot of fun this finals. It made up for the poor playoff run, for the rest of the league. So yeah, going into next season, let's see, are the Warriors favorited? I don't know. We got a lot of off-season stuff to talk about. A lot of just kind of even talking about the teams that were in the playoffs. I think some are gonna have higher expectations next year. We got to see what trades go on, the draft. We got to see a lot of stuff, and then go into the off-season and see what happens, man. I'm excited for the next season. I'm ready for the next season already, though. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Shout out to the Warriors. Shout out to the Celtics. Great basketball was played. I had a lot of fun. And drop down below into the comments and tell me how you feel about the finals. Were you going for the Warriors or were you going for the Celtics? Tell me in the comments below who you wanted to win. I hope to see you in the future. Maybe I'll make some videos about basketball if some crazy off-season stuff happens, But yeah, that's gonna be it. I hope to see you on the next one. Later.